Hello and welcome to News Now on TV360 Nigeria. I am Esther Bese. We begin with news of President Muhammadu Buhari formally conferring the honor of the Grand Commander of the Federal Republic on Moshood Olawale Abiola, the presumed winner of the June 12, 1993 presidential election. The award was received on behalf of the late politician by his son Kola Abiola. Buhari was also conferred national awards on Abiola's running mate Babagana Kingibe and late human rights lawyer Gani Fawahimi. Kingibe and late Fawahimi were awarded the honor of Grand Commander of the Niger. Now Fawahimi's honor was received on his behalf by his wife Ganiat Fawahimi, while Kingibe received his honor in person. In his speech, Buhari used the opportunity to apologize to the family of the late MKO.
Our action today is to bury the negative side of June 12, the side of ill feelings, hate, frustrating, and agony. What we are doing is celebrating and appreciating the positive side of June 12, the June 12 which restored democracy and freedom. The June 12 that overcome our various divides, and the June 12 that produce unity and national cohesion. This is the June 12 we are celebrating today, and we will nurture it to our next generations. Accordingly, on behalf of the federal government, I tender the nation's apology.
The apology was accepted and reciprocated by the daughter of the late politician. She thanked the president for his acknowledgement of their father's victory.
Nelson Mandela it was who said, "It always seems impossible until it is done." Who would have ever believed, given the relationship that you had with Chief MK Abiola, that you would be the instrument God would use to honor this man and to bring reconciliation and healing to the country. You apologized to my family, and it touched my heart. You know that I lost also my mother in this struggle, so that apology meant so much. Let me use this opportunity on behalf of Chief MK Abiola, because I know what he would have done. Let me use this opportunity to apologize to you, to apologize to your family for anything that he might have done to harm you and to harm your family.
Other speakers, including human rights lawyer Femi Fanana and Nobel laureate Wole Soyinka, commended the president for his actions, but asked him to do more.
Mr. President, we thank you very tremendously for recognizing June 12. Some people are saying you should declare the result. You have declared the results. We now know the winner of that election officially, who is now being honored with the order of GCFR, reserved for heads of government in Nigeria. Sir, before this regime, we have had 7 governments, 7, that pretended that June 12 did not exist. In the words of Abiola, they were clapping with one hand. Today, we are clapping with 2 hands.
I would like to make a request, Mr. President, since we are honoring heroes of democracy today. I'd like to make a request that you manage to stop creating confusion in the minds of Nigerians. It is not possible to honor MKO Abiola in one breath and then admire his tormentor in another breath. Loyalty is all very well, but loyalty can become perverse if that loyalty is retained to an individual who, if he were alive today, would be before the International Court of Crimes.
In Lagos, Governor Akinwumi Ambode unveiled a new 46-feet statue in honor of the late politician. The statue, located at the MKO Abiola Garden in Alapere, Ketu, was unveiled as part of activities to mark the 25th anniversary of the June 12, 1993 election presumed to be won by Abiola. Governor Ambode, who spoke at the unveiling of the statue, said his administration decided to erect bigger statues for MKO Abiola and late rights activist Chief Gani Fahimi to properly situate their immense contribution to nation building. He described MKO Abiola as a man who transcended race, tribe, and religion, adding that the late philanthropist appealed to all Nigerians who voted massively for him during the 1993 presidential election. Still in Lagos, the National Democratic Coalition, NADECO, has asked President Muhammadu Buhari to extend his honor of Moshood Abiola by declaring him as president. NADECO made the demand at the press briefing to mark the 25th anniversary of the annulled election. They also asked President Buhari to name a national monument after Abiola.
That the Nigerian state should formally inaugurate posthumously Bashorun MKO Abiola as a president of Nigeria. That a national monument of consequence be named after President Abiola, as opposed to falsely presenting him as a regional hero or icon, like by naming University of Lagos after him, or even presenting him his matter as if it is mainly of a regional interest. NADECO hereby calls on Bashorun Moshood Kashimawo Olawale Abiola to note that the consequence of our collective insistence on justice, equity, and respect for the rule of law has now resulted to the near revalidation of his victory recorded on June 12, 1993, and that we, NADECO, not the revisionists, will not relent until all other associated matters raised along with June 12 election are achieved to the greater glory, unity, honor, and development of Nigeria.
Still on the June 12 celebration, states in the southwest of Nigeria are marking the annual June 12 Democracy Day. In Lagos, a group known as June 12 Movement, in conjunction with Nigeria Intervention Movement, has held what is called a presidential roundtable to reflect on issues of the June 12, 1993 presidential elections in Nigeria, the decision of the government recognizing the late Chief MKO Abiola, the winner of the election, and June 12 as the country's Democracy Day. The gathering also used the opportunity to hear from some of the presidential aspirants for the next year's general election. TV360's Fidelia Aguncha has more.
On June 12, 1993, Nigeria held its acclaimed freest and fairest democratic election. 25 years down the line, this day remains very symbolic in the country's democracy. So symbolic that President Muhammadu Buhari recently declared its Democracy Day, the first time any government in Nigeria since 1993 would officially recognize that election and the man who won it, Moshood Kashimawo Olawale Abiola. It's mainly for June 12 and the man who symbolized that struggle that this group has gathered here, the private residence of MKO Abiola. Putting their political differences aside, politicians, presidential aspirants, and democracy activists have all come out in their number to honor those significant to the June 12 struggle.
Always remember, around this period, all the fights, all the struggles, CNO, CDHR, all of it. Without those institutional pillars for human rights and democracy, we will not be here today.
Oh, yes.
So let us remember that. So what has happened was that MKO, even though, you see, because I need to state this, even though he was not the candidate of choice of the human rights movement, and you all know why, I don't want to say. But immediately, there was a public proclamation that he was the candidate, and he won. We went with him. But that was truncated. But the people of this country continue, and we fought. Today, we feel very happy. Today, we are very happy. We thank Abiola where he is right now. He is rejoicing. He's seeing all of us. What we are doing here today, that indeed the time has come, as of today, that what he did not die in vain. All those who are unsung, who fought for the democracy, who are alive, now that we're going to pray for them. The only regret, the biggest regret, which Bible has talked about, was the fact that those who fought for democracy were not the ones that took over democracy in 1999.
It doesn't end there. Presidential aspirants present at the event are given opportunities to rub minds and address issues they would tackle if elected into power.
One of my principal aims, and because all we see in Nigeria, we see manifestations of things, but a lot of things that are happening to us are fundamental and are institutional. And I'm saying that without a national interest, we are not going nowhere. If we don't define a national interest, permit me to define the national interest for you. It is to protect and preserve Nigerian lives, Nigerian lands, and Nigerian livelihoods.
Governance is about the people. Governance is for the people.
Definitely.
You have to understand their situation, their well-being, their welfare, their health, and their security. I have been on the street 20 years doing community service.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
The streets of Nigeria.
Oh yes.
And you can Google me and you'll find out all my works in the past 20 years.
For me, for us, for my team, 4 things are on our agenda. Before Nigeria can succeed, we want a united country. We want a country where we will hold ourselves together regardless of all the things that have always divided us. Ethnicity, religion, social status, political party and ideological affiliations, gender, and all of those things that make us fight each other. Because at the end of the day, we go through the same pains. We go through the same torture. We go through the same problems.
I have traveled around this country, and the general consensus is that it is over for the old guys. The general consensus that the corrupt, incompetent, wicked, and inhuman leadership in this country must be sent packing come February 2019.
As has always been the case in the over a decade that gatherings like this have been held here, the gathering later moves to the graveside of the late MKO Abiola, where a flag is raised in his honor. With the 2019 general elections around the corner, everyone at the gathering called on the government to emulate the spirit of June 12 by ensuring next year's elections are not just free and fair, but transparent and devoid of violence. They say that would be the ultimate honor for those who fought and died for the cause of June 12. Fidelia Aguncha, TV360, Lagos, Nigeria.
In other news, a federal high court in Abuja has sentenced the former governor of Plateau State, Joshua Dariye, to 14 years in prison. Dariye was found guilty on 15 of the 25-count charges brought against him by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. Justice Olasunbo Banjoko handed Dariye 14 years for criminal breach of trust and 2 years for misappropriation of public funds. The sentence will run concurrently. He is the second former Nigerian governor to be sentenced within the past month. Now, last month, a federal high court in Abuja sentenced former governor of Taraba State to 28 years in prison. Jolly Inyame was found guilty on 27-count charges bordering on criminal misappropriation, diversion of public funds, and breach of public trust. The Federal High Court Abuja on Tuesday adjourned indefinitely the trial of Commandant of Peace Corps Dixon Akor. The judge, John Soho, said the decision was because the police refused to obey a previous ruling on the matter. Akor, who was present at Tuesday's hearing, is facing trial on allegations of fraud brought against him by the Nigerian police. Security operatives had sealed the Peace Corps office in Abuja after arresting its commandant and 49 other staff in February 2017. The Peace Corps is registered as a non-governmental organization but sought to become a paramilitary agency. Now, although the National Assembly passed a bill to that effect, President Muhammadu Buhari refused to sign it.
We are happy that the court is still there to serve the purpose of the common man. Because we have been denied justice, we have been treated as if we are alien, but the court has continuously upheld our position. One thing I want to make very clear, the police have achieved their aim. This thing was done purposely because of the Nigerian Peace Corps bill. And because they have achieved that aim, they know that bringing me to court is just to come and persecute me, not to prosecute. I am ready to defend myself because I have not committed any offense. And anytime they are ready, we will come with superior argument because whatever Peace Corps has been doing over the years is within the whims and caprices of our Constitution. We have not erred in any way. If they know they have any issue to indict me, let them come before the court. I am not afraid of defending myself. They are now afraid of showing to the public and to the law that what they have done in the past is completely wrong.
You're watching News Now on TV360 Nigeria. We'll return just after a moment.
People to get only 10 people to register to vote, 10 new voters. Each of us standing here today, when you get back home, when you get to your place of work, your school, try and get 10 new people that do not have their PPC to register to vote. We're going to take on our website onevoice.ng. Please go there, give us the information. If you get 10 people to vote, then you're amongst us.
So at least start with your voter's card and begin to use that to bargain about the type of person you want to see on February 16, 2019 and March 2nd on the ballot paper.
Okay, so we want to focus on people who haven't voted before. It's 100,000 people who are looking to pledge that because that gives us a minimum of 1 million new voters.
Instead of to say, my vote no go count now, try vote first, maybe you see whether it will count, you know.
Oil prices rose alongside global markets on Tuesday as U.S. President Donald Trump said a summit in Singapore with North Korea's Kim Jong-un had made a lot of progress, boosting hopes of a deal to end a nuclear standoff on the Korean peninsula. Brent crude futures were trading at $76.72 a barrel, while U.S. crude futures were at $66.42 a barrel. Beyond the Singapore summit, crude has been generally supported by healthy demand and voluntary production cuts led by OPEC. Some oil fundamentals, however, point to low prices, with output from the three biggest producers, Russia, the USA, and Saudi Arabia, on the rise. Russian production has reportedly climbed from below 11 million barrels per day to 11.1 million barrels per day in early June. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Stock Exchange closed today's session recording a 0.83% rise in the all-share index to close at 39,167 basis points, with the market capitalization closing at 14.188 trillion naira. Still on its slow climb, the equities market recorded a total of 341.483 million shares worth 5.193 billion naira being transacted in 3,769 deals, with 34 gainers led by Seplat recording an 8.14% rise to close at 769 naira per share price. Guinness Nigeria, ahead of 20 others led the losers table with a 2.76% decline closing at 97 naira per share price. Meanwhile, the top traders chart was dominated by United Capital plc, Dangote Sugar, Africa Prudential plc and Guarantee Trust Bank, churning in 234.391 million shares worth 3.577 billion naira. For That's Been Business News, we'll be back after this break. So stay with us.
Yeah, relax. That is my brother, and I want him out of this station now. Okay. Can I just see the IPO of this case? IPO. How are you? That is my brother, and I want him out of this station now.
Do you know the offense he has committed, sir?
What do you guys want for your weekend? Okay, let me see your DPO.
This way, sir.
Oh, better. You don't know me here. That boy is my brother, and I want you to assist me to free him.
The man found a gun, confessed to robbery.
Things like this happen. 200,000 naira for you.
Are you bribing me?
500,000 naira.
Robbery suspect?
1 million naira.
That is corruption. Not allowed in this division.
1 million.
Remember,
police is your friend. Giving and taking bribe is wrong.
corruption, not in my country.
Stop corruption now.
Corruption not in my country.
Welcome back. On the foreign scene, Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un have pledged to work towards completing the denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula. Now, after their meeting, Trump said a lot of progress has been made and that they sat down to sign a historic document. Trump told reporters that the document was pretty comprehensive and the North Korean denuclearization process will be starting very quickly. The pair promised in the document to build a lasting and stable peace regime on the Korean Peninsula and to repatriate remains of prisoners of war and those missing in action during the Korean War. Meanwhile, judges at the International Criminal Court ICC have ordered the release of Congolese ex-vice president Jean-Pierre Bemba. Now, according to the court order issued on Tuesday, Bemba will be freed in neighboring Belgium, where his family lives. Bemba, whose war crimes conviction was quashed, has been in the ICC detention center for a decade since his arrest in 2008. He was convicted in 2016 of crimes against humanity and sentenced to 18 years in prison. But that conviction was overturned on appeal on Friday in a major setback for prosecutors. To sports news now, Super Falcons head coach Thomas Denerby has expressed satisfaction after his team qualified for the Ghana 2018 African Women's Cup of Nations. The Super Falcons defeated Gambia 6-0, that's 7-0 in aggregate, in the second leg of the final round of qualifiers at the Agege Stadium on Monday. A brace from the star striker Asisat Oshola with 4 goals from her partner Desire Okpara Onozie helped the Falcons to victory. Now, Thomas applauded the players for their efforts and added that his focus was now on qualifying for the World Cup.
Well, I think there's been a lot of improvement since he came on board. You know, he's been trying to bring in some new stuff into the team to make sure we will have enough time to play together, to bond together and all that. It's been a lot of positivity since he's been around. So I think we're on our way to a greater future for the Super Falcons. I think towards the first half, at the first half there were lots of lapses. I had some chances I couldn't convert and all that, but thank God during the break, the coaches pointed that out to me and they told me what to do, where to be at the right time, and it worked at the second half, as you all could see that. So it was a positive match for all of us.
Of course, the expectation of this team, because they qualify to qualify for a World Cup. So if you look at the individuals in this team, the team is good enough to be one of the 3 best players from Africa. So. Of course, I hopefully can have another successful evening in November sometime. If you look at this squad, it's a good mix of domestic and professional players. So the people that say that now, they are not following us good enough. So just look at the squad.
Well, it remains in doubt if Egypt star player Mohamed Salah will play in Uruguay in their World Cup opener at Yekaterinburg on Friday. The Liverpool player who sustained a shoulder injury in the Champions League final against Real Madrid last month took part in light training on Monday. But the Egyptian FA's managing director Ehab Lahita said it was too early to say whether he would play against South Americans. Now Egypt also faces Saudi Arabia and hosts Russia in Group A. Britain's former world heavyweight and cruiserweight champion David Haye has announced his retirement on Tuesday, and that's following two successive defeats to fellow Englishman Tony Bellew. Haye, who won 28 of his 32 bouts, including 26 knockouts, unified the cruiserweight world division, then was crowned world heavyweight champion in defeating the Beast of the East, that's Russia's Nikolay Valuev, in 2009. However, Ukrainian great Vladimir Klitschko took the WBA belt off him after Haye had successfully defended the title twice in July 2011. And that wraps it up on business news. Do log on to News Now, do log on to our website at www.tv360nigeria.com to get news updates and more of our programs. You can also watch us on Facebook at facebook.com/TV360online and on Twitter at twitter.com/TV360Nigeria. We're also live on YouTube at youtube.com/TV360Nigeria, and we are also on Google Plus, and our handle is TV360Nigeria. Thank you very much for watching. I am Esther Vese.